my vice. Man up from Mars, he tripping, I put that on guard. I got the digits, but I am not calling. Wizard at night, this be that forum. I'm still stacked with that. Sunshine after that. Still stacked with that. Sunshine after that. So yeah, you know, I had a conversation with her, but it's like the signals is always crossed. I mean, like, I say yes, cause she asked me to say yes. And then she's like, I didn't want you to say yes. I wanted you to understood that a yes was required to answer the question. I was like, what?
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the spot, the Stack After Hours spot. I am your host, Natalie Cosby, and welcome to the show for Grown Folks Talk. We are back in our mode. You know, we've been doing the what's been going on in the world, but we're back in our relationship business, about this relationship business, and talking about love between men and women over 40. So tonight we are going to kick it off with dating his point of view. And we have an all male panel ready for you ladies. Y'all have been posting all the day today, comments, thoughts, missteps brothers have made, and they're going to talk about it. So y'all get ready, get your cocktails, and keep those fingertips loose, because we want to hear your questions and comments on tonight's show. And here is how we keep it lit and enlightening. Let's introduce, hey Sunshine. Tonight I'm so excited because we have our first author on the show, Craig Palmer, author based on the book The Good, the Bad, and Who Knew Their Picture was filtered. Mm-hmm. It's released on March 14th. So, Craig, can you explain what is the book about? What's the title mean?
Let me tell you why I came up with that title. Right, mm-hmm. I went online and I started dating, and a young lady came on the date, and she looked completely different than her profile picture. I mean, literally, like, it was so, the parents were so different that I took a picture of her. We went bowling, and I took a picture of her, and I compared it with the profile picture, and I sent it to a friend of mine. And he said, man, you should call the police. She should be arrested for impersonating someone, because she looked totally different. And as I've looked at a lot of profiles, what I found is that women have, I don't know if it's considered an advantage or not, because obviously women wear makeup, they can wear wigs. Like, I could just tell you, in my years on this planet Earth, I've never used a filter. I've never worn makeup. I've never had foundation on. I've never had my eyebrows arched or nothing like that. Where women, they can just so vastly change their appearance, you know, whether it's changing their hair color, changing the angles in which they take the pictures. Like, and one of the things I write in the book is you should be wary of people who take pictures at high angles. You know what I mean? When you see women start taking a picture from up here, you should be wary.
Why?
Because that's an attempt to kind of mask their body composition. You know, because from this angle, you really can't see. From like this part down, you really can't see. So that's why they're not taking a picture from this angle. They're taking it from up down.
Somebody said men do that too, and they use photos from 20 years ago.
Now, they may do that.
Some weight.
See, men and women lie about different things, right? Now, men lie about their height, right? They'll lie about their height.
Right.
They'll lie about what they do for a living. They'll lie and say they're single when they're married, right? But they don't generally lie about their parents, right? They don't lie about.
I'm sorry. Are you seeing the guys on the dating sites like we're seeing the guys on the dating sites? Because
it's hard for a guy to like a guy might mislead you. He might have health issues, right?
That part.
So what women lie about, they lie like I could just tell you, I had a young lady who lied about how many kids she had. She lied
Oh, that's
about
crazy.
how many baby daddies she had. You know what I mean? Like women lie about different things. Like they're women don't lie about their height. They generally, if they're like 5'5", they're 5'5", right?
So obviously this is what inspired you to write about the book, and you've primarily only talked about the bad. So what has been the good in this online dating, about how we lie, but what are some of the good things that you have seen in this online date? I guess it's basically online dating, correct?
Well, yeah, but the one good thing is that you do get an opportunity to meet some great people, because not every person you meet is going to be someone that you might be involved with romantically, right? So that's how I came about this podcast, right? Because I met someone online, and the person is probably not near me, so we probably can't have a relationship because of the distance, or maybe the person's not interested or whatever, right? But you meet someone, and sometimes you get an opportunity to network with folks. So I've been able to network with folks that didn't, like I said, necessarily mean a relationship per se. So that's the biggest thing. You get an opportunity to meet some great folks.
So Craig, go ahead. Take us through the process. You meet somebody, you swipe right. Y'all
Right.
connect. And so let's go through this really quickly. What is your approach?
Well, the first thing that I look at is distance, because I realize that you can't really it's hard to develop a relationship with someone if you don't see them enough, right? So the first thing I'm going to look at is how close they are to me, right? The second thing that I look at, and remember, guys look at different things, but for me, I look at to see if they have children, right? Because if you don't have kids, you might for love, you might decide to move to be closer to someone, right? Because if you've been out there, let's say you've been single 10 years, right? You've been dating off and on for 10 years. You've never really met someone that you really vibed with. And you finally meet someone that you vibe with. And, let's say you meet the person and you're like, yo, I really like this person. And maybe you work in an industry that allows you the ability to move, whether you're a teacher, a nurse, you work in some sort of industry like that. You might say, you know what, I'm going to move closer to be with my soulmate. So for me, I look to see, does she have children? Because if you don't have children, then you have a little bit more flexibility with the potential of moving. And then I look at, is she educated? Because if she's educated, and I mean, not everyone needs a college degree, but to me, I find that folks that are educated tend to be a little bit more well-rounded, and the conversation is better. I actually dated a young lady who didn't know what Roe versus Wade was, right? And it's true
How
story.
old was she though? Wait.
47.
Wait. How old was she, Craig?
47.
She was 47 and she didn't know what Roe versus Wade
No.
was.
And she was serious about it. She was like, huh, who's that? I was like, wait a minute. You don't know what Roe versus Wade is? She was like, no. And
she was educated.
No, she wasn't. That's what I'm saying. So, your educated woman is going to know what Roe versus Wade is.
I think most women know what educated or not.
I'm sorry. So any of your connections, have there been any success with any of your connections?
Great question. Yeah. I did actually have some success. But at the end, sometimes they fall apart. They can be successful for, let's say, a few months, but then as you get to know folks, things sometimes start revealing themselves. Like, for instance, I dated someone for about 3 months, and most of the time I went to see her. Well, let me say all of the time I went to see her, right? Or, we traveled, we stayed at a hotel or what have you. And so the first time she had an opportunity to come to my house, she was kind of like a neat freak, right? And so what happened was she was like, why is your sneakers in the living room, right? And I'm like, I keep sneakers in the living room because sometimes I need to run outside really quickly. I don't want to have to go all the way to my bedroom to get sneakers to put on, from my closet. So I keep a pair of sneakers in the living room. She's like, "Oh, that's not tidy." I'm like, "Okay." She had a problem with me having a couple of bowls in the sink, and I'm like, "I'm not losing no sleep with a couple of bowls in the sink. I'm sorry, I'm not." But she had a really major issue with, like, why don't you put them in the dishwasher and this and that. I'm like, well, sometimes I put the dishes in the morning. Sometimes you might have a couple of bowls or a couple of plates in the sink overnight. I might not do it to the morning.
So
But
basically, y'all didn't have the same type of living standards. That's what I'm starting to see. And she was
yeah,
like,
you could probably say that. You probably could say that.
okay, okay.
So Craig, there was one question in the Facebook, and they want to know, why is it always the failure of the woman?
The Why is it always the failure of the woman?
Yeah, meaning, were
No.
there anything that you did that probably broke the connection?
Well, remember, we're looking at it from my perspective. So you would
First,
have to ask her what she didn't like about me, right?
no,
Like
no,
I
no.
can tell you, right?
I think the
So
question
I'll
more
give you an
is,
example. I'll
yeah.
give you an example. There was a young lady that I dated, right? We went out a few times, and one time she came from New Jersey to see me, right?
Mhm.
And one of the things that she said she didn't like, right? She said she didn't like the way I was dressed to pick her up from the airport. So I'm like, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm not going to come in a suit. I'm just picking you up to take you to your hotel. So I came in a sweatsuit. I came in with like a Nike sweatsuit. I mean, but she thought that I was being underdressed by coming to pick her up. And now let me just preface that by saying she said that was a problem, but then a couple of days later she said, "Nah, I just said that to hurt your feelings." Okay, so I'm not really certain if she really meant it or um, it was true. Whether it was true or not, or she just said it to really hurt my feelings. But she said she didn't like the way I was dressed, but then she changed her mind. So I don't know.
So Craig, I know your book comes out on the 18th, and we want to bring in the panel. But my
Okay.
final question, my final
Mhm.
question to you is,
Mhm.
what is the goal of the book, and who is your audience?
The goal of the book, the reason why I wrote the book really was um, to kind of inform guys of what they should be aware of, and women as well. Because listen, let's keep it real. When it comes to online dating, there is a safety factor that you have to consider, right? Like I've heard horror stories where, um, like I'll give you an example. One young lady on her profile, to me, it was kind of funny. It said it wasn't a lot on there. All it said was, "I just don't want to end up on Dateline," right? And that's real talk. You know what I mean? Like there are crazy people out there. You know what I mean? And anytime you go on a date, there's a risk involved. You want to minimize the risk, obviously. You want to, maybe go to, in some cases, you meet the person at the restaurant. You want to go someplace where it's well lit and stuff like that. Obviously, you want to make people informed if you're going to meet someone for the first time. So there are things that you want to do just for safety reasons. So that was the reason why I wrote the book, just so
That could
that.
happen in person too, though.
Huh?
You could be unsafe in person as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be an
Right.
online.
Of course. Listen, you could be in one woman got abducted. I just recently started watching like Dateline and stuff like that. This one woman was abducted, from a casino. She wasn't on online dating. She just happened to be at the casino at the wrong time, and the guy snatched her up. So that happens. But think about it. If there are serial killers out there and stuff like that,
Right,
um,
right, right.
what better way to snatch someone up than
I
tell you,
think,
"Hey, meet
yeah,
me somewhere," and you there and no one knows. you
yes, yeah. So
know,
I wanna make sure that we get our panel in, Craig. Thank you. We're gonna continue this conversation as we bring in our panel.
Yes.
Wow. I love an all male panel. So I want to introduce some old faces, some new faces to the show, and we decided to kind of go with an all male point because we really wanted to get men's point of view. And women have been blowing up our WhatsApp, our Facebook with questions for this particular panel. So Anthea, we're going to do a little bit different tonight. Anthea's going to kind of pull in some of the comments that came from WhatsApp and Facebook, and we're going to kind of talk to these brothers about their point of view, not only in online dating, but just the dating realm at this point. And some of them are single, some of them are married, some of them are in relationships, but just their paths to get there and also what they see. So first, I want to start out with a brother who was actually with us from the inception of this, Dr. O. He is he's actually one of our panelists who is hitched. So I'm excited to have him. Thank you, Dr. O, for being on. David, and then we have J. David Washington. I'm just gonna call him David. He is a rebel rouser, honey. So this is going to be fun. He is in Florida. He keeps us on our toes in our chat. So I'm so excited to have him on for the very first time. And of course, our maestro, our Amadeus, our creative, my little brother who keeps me and Anthea both on our toes, Mr. Malik Kayem. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, glad to be here. How you doing?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we've been talking about y'all's point of view in dating, and so the ladies had time. Ladies had some
We
time
had time today. We did.
We had some time to put some questions in there. But before we jump into that, I just want to kind of figure out, like, I know most of you guys are either single, a couple in a relationship, one of you guys is married. What is your mindset just around dating in when you're out here meeting women?
Wait, can I just clarify? I'm the only married one. I'm the only married
I know you are the married one. I know
Okay.
you are the married one.
I'm the only married one. Okay.
I called you hitched. I know you're not available. But for my brothers who are single, what is your mindset when you meet these women?
Well, did you want a certain order? Did you want me to kind of?
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll start with you, Craig, and go ahead.
Well, to me, being a single male and wanting to meet someone to settle down with, um, I just want a companion, to be honest with you. I was married for 11 years, and my wife passed away about almost 4 years ago. And so going back into the dating field or what have you, you really just kind of want someone that you really vibe with, someone that you have great conversation with and chemistry with, and hopefully something that's going to be long term.
All right. David?
Well, personally for myself, I was married for 27 years, 27 wonderful years.
I like that you said 27 wonderful years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks.
absolutely. Yeah, 27 wonderful. Yeah, 27 wonderful years. You know, I have a different perspective on life. Being married for 27 years, it was wonderful, it was good. But now that I'm single, I probably take a more of an approach that's similar to being married. So when I'm dating, I'm looking for someone that I definitely connect with on an energy level. I'm really into spirituality, so I have to feel her spirit. And if we vibe spiritually, intellectually, all of those other things, they've been come into play. So the first thing for me is in 30 seconds, if I don't feel the energy, then I just walk away.
That quick, David?
What? So wait.
30
Can you?
Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we all come from different perspectives. And, I've shared this in the group. Growing up in a hair salon, my mother and my godmother ran head salons for 38 years. I grew up listening to women telling each other all of the things their man wasn't doing, how he wasn't doing it. So by osmosis, I hear women in my head. So when I meet a woman, I can just kind of sense her energy of how she's moving. And for me, if the energy is not there, I just walk away. Like, for example, when I saw my wife, she was on Broadway. I saw her before I knew her, and I said, I'm gonna marry that woman. About 6 weeks later, I saw her on the corner of Beaver Street in Broadway, and I said, hey, where are you going? I took her to have breakfast. I sent her flowers, became her friends, and married a year later
So
because she was
you're very intentional.
absolutely, there's no other place to be.
And sure, which is good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Malik, what about you?
I guess for me, dating is like playing spades. Some definites in my hand and some possibles.
Wait,
It
wait.
really is. I don't really think much past that. Like I feel like what God has for me is gonna come to me. So I'm just, taking it day by day.
So wait a minute. Is the woman the spade or is she the hand? I'm trying to understand.
Damn, that's a good question. I guess she's the hand. The woman is the hand because it could be a definite book in there. It could be a possible. I'm just trying to play the best hand I'm dealt.
So for the people that play dominoes, what is that? A six?
Yeah. That's a double blank or 6-6.
Me and Dr. O over here is like, we play dominoes. We're playing them.
So Dr. O, I know, Dr. O, I know you're married, but what was your mindset when you met your wife?
No,
And how long have you been married for?
it's actually 14 years in June.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So for me, it's very interesting. I think in some of the conversations in WhatsApp group and things like that, I talked about how human beings we complicate dating. When I met my wife, I was in a relationship previously, and then that relationship ended, and I met my wife around a little bit after. And I had to be very honest with her and say, listen, I like you, you're beautiful, I'm very interested, but I just got out of a relationship. I don't want to jump into one immediately. And we're talking about my early 20s. So I was just like, well, if I jump into this relationship and I'm not ready, I don't want to hurt you. And I was very honest, but that was me taking the risk of saying, well, either if this works out and we're there. If not, then that's my fault. I said I just wasn't ready for a serious relationship. I tried to not make it as complicated as possible. I was lucky. She kind of, stuck through some of my nonsense. But the point being was that I think, you need to be honest so that you don't complicate matters. What is that you're looking for? What is that you want? I think, in dating, as I was saying, I think in the text message was that we make things harder than it needs to be. You kind of know what you want. You know what you don't want. I think for most human beings are creatures of habit. So what they are and their habits, they show you. It's either you want it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not overcomplicate it.
Can I ask an age-related question? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? You don't have to tell me the exact age, but are you in your 40s, 30s?
I don't have a problem with that. No, I'm 42.
Okay.
I will be 43 in August.
Can we get the age of all the men? Wait, Anthea, can we get the age of all the men really quick before you wanted Dave to finish a thought before we
I wanted to finish the thought because he's at an age where is a little younger than most of us. So the age range that we're looking in terms of men. Do you think that the older a guy gets is more jaded they become? And I ask that because when I hear your perspective as a younger man, it sounds very refreshing and not jaded at all. And then when I hear commentary from people that are maybe my age and a little older, they just become, it just sounds to me personally, I don't know if Natalie, you have the same perspective. But just looking at the chat, it just seems like there is a little bit of jadedness with as the older you become.
Well, okay, I do think as you become older and you experience different things with different relationships, you can't become jaded. But as part of that jadedness, I'm gonna go back to it, and I hate to sound repetitive about us complicating things. Listen, if you as you get older, you've dated multiple people, let's say you've been married and divorced. I think if you're married and divorced, you kind of know what you want in a relationship. But I think what we do is we kind of internalize some of our past and we bring it to when we're dating. I think someone in the chat had put about, when they meet somebody for the first time, one of the things that she said was, we go out, she shouldn't pay. She shouldn't, he should be honest
Well,
about what
we'll read some of the comments very soon.
Okay. But my point being is I think sometimes we kind of like part of the jadedness is what makes dating even more complicated.
Right.
When listen, your past is your past. You're looking to do something new with someone else. What does your past have to do with now?
So I think because we do have older men on here, and I think the thing is, I don't feel like any of you guys really came across as being jaded. I think it's more so, is it like, is it a trauma response? But I do want to ask, what are some of, I want to know everybody's age because I know David's 42 because we do have women of all ages looking at this. And what types of women are being drawn to you? Not what you're attracted to, what's drawn to you? Because David, you said something about in 30 seconds. I think it's also an energy thing. Like people's nonverbal sometimes says way more than what
Absolutely.
they're actually saying. So what's your age, and then what type of women are being drawn to you? I'm gonna start with Malik.
I'm 45, and I think the women that are attracted to me are, they range. I get like a lot of earthy chicks, kind of like the Erica Badu vibe, and I get some hood rats. I just, I think I appeal to a wide cross section of women, so I don't really limit myself. Just try to keep it more age appropriate. I would say that's my biggest challenge.
But you don't read 40, 45. Women don't think you're 45.
I don't. But I am though. so I that's why I try to keep it more age appropriate, because it's like it's like if you're my daughter's age, I'm kind of like I got a kid in her 20s, like I can't really do it. You know what I mean?
Have you done it recently, Malik?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I've been on a year and 7-month detox, so I haven't done it. I haven't done it. I'm still pushing with the 30s, but I'm trying to up that too. So, God willing, I'll get there.
Okay. David?
I'm 61.
You look great.
I'm 61. Thank you. Feel good too. A cross section of women are drawn to me. Similar to David. I accept whoever accepts me. So I definitely don't have a limit. But it just seems like younger women, usually, 10 to 20 years younger than me, seem to gravitate to me. However, I have a great connection with women who are my age. And I enjoy the compatibility, the vibration, the conversation, because usually when I'm dating someone that's 15 to 20 years younger than me, and I start talking about civil rights events, things that have happened, they weren't even born yet. So it's like there's a part of my life that I can't really be very fluid with. So I find that, I enjoy my time with my mature, seasoned sisters that are like fine wine to me.
What is the age range of y'all when y'all say matured, seasoned? I need to understand what age range are we talking about?
For me, God rest his soul, my father.
Say, hi, David.
My father passed away, but my father used to say, "You ain't grown yet until you 40." So right at 40, that's when I feel a woman is really coming to her capacity to be disciplined, to say no. You know, I find that women between the age of 20 and 35, the answer is typically going to be yes. But when a woman gets to be 40, she knows how to say no, hell no, fuck no. And I like that. And I like that tenacity and that capacity to make decisions and be headstrong. So for me, when I say mature, I'm talking about 40 plus.
Okay.
Can I shave 15 years off David's answer?
Say that again,
Can I shave 15 years off David's answer?
Yes. Yes. Craig, what about you? What is coming into your, who's liking you? Who's matching with you when you swipe?
Well, one time I went online and I had 500 people in my inbox. That's true. 500.
How many of those 500 did you like? We're gonna speed this up. How many of those 500 did you like?
The 500, probably about 25.
Damn.
Right. And that's because, kind of like what he said, I don't date anyone under 40. So anyone under 40, I completely eliminate. Right. I eliminate any smokers. Right. And then I kind of have a pet peeve. This is just my own personal pet peeve. But I don't like head wraps and I don't like piercings, like nose rings. Anyone
no
with
Badu types.
Yeah. So any head wraps, any nose rings, I eliminate those. So it allows me to kind of sift through them pretty quickly.
So you're not doing tattoos, Craig?
No, tattoos I like, but no nose rings. And a woman got very offended when I told her no nose rings or gold teeth. She got really pissed off. She was
you in Georgia, you know they're gonna have a whole gold front.
I mean, I can see the gold teeth for the nose ring. I feel like that's very, newbie.
Still wear gold teeth?
Yeah.
Well,
some women have gold teeth.
What is your objection to nose rings?
I just don't like them. It's just my preference. I just, they turn me off. Nose rings turn me off.
So Natalie asked the question of the day in the chat, and the question was, and it was geared to mostly ladies, and it says, share one story or misstep that you think men make when dating online, or when dating or online dating. And so let me just read one of the responses. I don't know if you guys want to respond to any. And I'm going to read a new one that just came in while we were on air. So you guys didn't see it or have any judgments against it. So someone said, talking about sex at the beginning, making comments to suggest that you guys are the prize, and then exhibiting aggressive energy about most situation and being pretentious. What do you think about those missteps that young lady has identified?
She's picking the wrong guy. Did he do all of that? Did one guy do all of that to her?
I think it's multiple. It's
just multiple.
But if she's picking guys that are constantly being ultra aggressive, they're talking about sex. I mean, these are classic missteps that all men know not to do. So she's just picking from the wrong pool. Like as much as we want to have sex, we know, okay, I can't bring it up date one. We just, it's an unwritten rule. We know this.
Absolutely.
So it's like, I don't know who she's picking it.
Okay.
But also my question would be, what is the conversation that you're having that leads to you just jumping into sex? To me, if you're having a general conversation, I mean, unless he's a real, just a jerk, how do you just...
You know how many men automatically just start talking? You'd be like, wait, what? What did you just... Y'all slick about it. Y'all be like, girl, you need some vitamin D. Or I'd be like, wait, what?
Somebody said she's chicken from the gold teeth pool.
Hey, you know those guys that can turn any conversation sexual. You could be talking about salad, and he'd be like, yeah, I would love to give you my crouton. So we do know those guys. Those creeps are like far in between. The average guy is not really being overtly sexual to me.
I agree with you, and that's why my question is like, what are the conversations you're having, or how's that you happen to attract these type of men? Because I don't get me wrong, you know how they say it's the few that really make the majority look bad, But the point being is that most men, I would like to believe that most men, the majority of men, aren't that overt about sexual thoughts.
Okay.
Look,
is she displaying sexual energy?
So do
some women do lead with sexual energy.
What do you mean by they lead with sexual
energy? What do you mean by sexual energy?
What do you mean
okay, it's like, let's say we're going on a date and your outfit is just a little too provocative for a first date. Like, I understand you want to look nice and we want to impress each other, but sometimes it's too much.
Provocative.
I mean, it's subjective. It's subjective, but we kind of know when you have like the side out on your dress, maybe the back out, maybe the girls are showing a little too much in the front. You know what I mean? But so it's like sometimes your energy will maybe misguide a man in which direction he should go.
Agreed.
Okay. Is that true though? Really?
So you're blaming the girl because of how she's dressed?
This is not about blaming. I will say this. I give you no different. I give you no difference.
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
No, that's fine. No, which is fine. Is it any different if you go out with a guy and when he picks you up, whatever, he's dressed in a manner that you don't think is necessarily appropriate, like maybe it's too hood-like or whatever it is, the perception you have of him is that he's some tough good guy. So when
you up in a fishnet shirt, I got on fishnet.
Yeah, so if a woman's dressed a little bit more provocative than you expect, you may be thinking more things sexual than anything else because of necessarily what she's wearing. Listen, at the end of the day, here's the one thing that I find funny about dating. People always say, well, this person thinks of me of this. I'm like, well, when we first see someone, human beings, male or female, we're visual. When you first meet someone, you see them. You don't know what's on their thought process. You don't know what's on their mind. So what you see is what you kind of like go off of immediately. So if a woman is dressed extremely...
Not according to Jay David. He's like 30 seconds. He knows.
Yeah, listen.
I don't got his energy.
Right. Listen, my whole thing is I do whatever I think is clever at the time.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Relationships are fluid. Over time, there are things that you learn. There's no set rules. Each woman that you date, that you meet, she is a unique individual. You cannot apply what you did with Mariah with Karen. It's not going to work. Yet there's similarities, but you got to treat each woman individually, and based upon what she gives you, you give that back to her. Now, I have to honestly say, I tried online dating. I gave it up. I did it for 12 months, P.O.V. in 2015, and I couldn't deal with the pretentiousness because I'm an organic type of guy. I like to meet a woman in Whole Foods, or meet her at the train station, or meet her at a wine tasting, right? Or just be introduced. More natural, more organic. All of the contrived, let me swipe left, let me swipe right. I don't have time for that because personally, for me, I think online dating is advantaged to the woman. And the game has changed. It's no longer what it was 20, 30 years ago. So all of the swiping thing, personally for me, I ain't doing it. I'm gonna meet a woman head to head, toe to toe, and we gonna deal with each other in the flesh. And if we can make magic, we make magic. If not, we walk away. We let bygones be bygones.
So there's a question that it's funny. I usually ask this on Stack Singles, and Cassie is actually asking it now. It's like, what is the first thing you notice? She says on a person. But I'm gonna say, what is the first thing you notice about a woman who you are attracted to? What is
how she dresses?
Okay, like, for me now, remember, you got to remember, I grew up in a hair salon. So for me, I need to, I don't really like the nail beds to look a little raggedy. I don't like the toenail bed to look a little raggedy.
You went to the beds, not the nails themselves. The beds.
Yeah, I mean, you need to know that you need some polish, right? Right? Because my thing is this: sisters have these high expectations. So my personal opinion. I'm taking my black ass to the gym. I'm juicing. I'm working out. I'm making sure I don't have no beer belly. And I'm going to make sure that if I decided to go to the nude beach, I could still rock with the best of them. And she going to be looking at me.
Okay.
You understand me? So I feel that a woman needs to meet some level of aesthetics, because I am a Libra. Not that necessarily means anything.
It means a lot, David.
But beauty is important. Is your crib clean? Is your car clean? Is your bathroom clean? Do you leave your panties on the floor when nobody's there? Small things like that. Just saying.
Thank you, David.
Now that I'm looking at you, what I'm thinking to follow up on the misstep, I think one misstep that men make is that we immediately kind of put you into a box based on your appearance. Like, let's say I meet you dressed how you dress right now. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take her on a date. Let me play some Jill Scott in the car. Let me play some India Arie. And I'm basing that just on your appearance.
About both of us?
No, I'm saying you, like, because you have one kind of the print cloth right now, I might be thinking, okay, she's a Jill Scott. She's this kind of woman. And I might get in the car with you and you be like, yo, could you put on Sexy Red? So I think a lot of times the men see women and we pigeonhole them immediately based on appearance. And sometimes we totally are off.
That's why you got to rock with the energy, because women are always telling you. How many times has a woman looked at a guy and she goes, duh? She done told you 5 times, this is how I'm moving. So to your point, Dave, you got to follow the woman's flow. Even though you can get caught up, and that's definitely, I agree with you, that's a misstep. So for me, I let women do the talking, because I messed up, being married for so damn long. My first set of mistakes, I was always talking about my goddamn ex, and that was pissing people off. So I realized
that was one of the missteps.
Actually, one of the comments.
That was a couple missteps.
Oh my God, I screwed up so damn bad, and I thought I was elevating, and these women was like, fool, you see all this fine goodness? I'm giving you my time, my energy. Why the hell are you talking about that shit that you did, back then? But I was locked in bed. And I was messed up. So for about 5 years, I was jacked. So I was a total disaster until I learned, that I got to fall back. Nobody don't want to hear about your past. Deal with the present. Dr. O talked about that, and that's why I rock with younger people, because I find they keep you fresh. They keep you new. You don't get stale in your old ways. So I find you got to be open. Like these young brothers that are here, these cats are 20 years younger than me. I learn from these guys all the time, and they help me be better. And younger women help me be better, and older women help me be better. So I find that in relationships, you got to be a student, and that's really why I love Stat, because it's mature, but it's also for anybody, because you get peeped up on game. So we talk about OG, and at the end of the day, think about relationships today. We are so much better than 30, 40 years ago. When I grew up, women used to be getting their ass beat. They was getting knocked out, and it was normal.
Safeguards in place.
And we don't do that anymore.
Can I say something? The funny thing is it may not be. No, women are not getting their ass beat, but there's a whole lot of Jedi mind trickery going on.
Yeah, like psychological.
It's a lot of psychological games. And so on.
I agree, but I will say this: it goes both ways, though. What I'm realizing more and more. I work on a college campus, so I get the gamut. I see a lot of traditional age, young, 18 to like 25-year-olds, but then you get the sprinkles of like older than 30, 25. And I'm going to tell you, in this generation, there's a lot of mind trickery going both ways. It's not just the men playing games, women playing games too. And you sit there and you just watch and say, wow, And I will say this: the one thing that does amaze me about this generation is really interesting is that a lot more free thinking than we were growing up about who they are, their sexuality, and what they want and things like that. That we were not necessarily open to doing or thinking.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. But so what I want to, Anthea, go ahead, and we had some other stuff. So that's one of them.
I think that the crowd was, unanimously asking about Craig and his feedback about that last comment. I don't think they heard from him.
Oh, what attracts
the nose
me
ring?
to women initially? I can tell you the first thing that catches me on anyone's profile is a smile, right? A woman has to have a great smile. Because I feel like if she's not going to smile in her profile, then she's probably not going to smile with me,
That's
right?
true.
And then I'm very analytical. So I'm going to be honest with you. When I look at a profile, I analyze it. Like,
What do
I
you
can
mean? What are
almost
you
tell.
analyzing?
Well, let me give you an example, right? If I see a woman that she takes a picture in front of her car, right? Then she's trying to me convey that she's successful, right?
Mhm.
If she's taking a picture, with a jersey on, then she's letting you know that, she likes sports, she's down to earth. Um, if you see a woman, she has like her sorority sweater on or something like that. She's probably a people person. So there are a lot of things that you can pick up by looking at a person's profile. Like I analyze them, but I'm not all guys are going to look at it as closely as I do. But I'm just saying, like, there are things that you can pick up, like a woman that takes a picture in front of her house. You know what I mean? Like, why? That just, I mean, for me, it doesn't bother me because I have my own home. But a guy who's looking for some place to live, he's going to be like trying to get with her because she got her own home. You know
Craig,
what I
let
mean?
me
So
ask you, do you ever
those
think
things that you
your
want to kind of be
analyzations
careful about.
Craig, do you ever think like maybe you might be over analyzing and not just flowing with love? Because let's just say hypothetically, I'm out with my boys and they're like, yo, you should set up an online profile. And they just took a picture of me right there in front of someone's car. So I might not necessarily be trying to say like, this is my car or I have a level of wealth. It might have just been the spur of the moment. I mean, I do get what you're saying that some people are very strategic in what they do and they're very subtle in trying to elude to wealth or success or their lifestyle. But I do believe some people are just innocently flung in certain situations.
Well, and that may be true, but think about it for a moment, right? When we take a picture, right, just in general, you always look to where you're going to take the picture, the background. People are aware of that. So trust me, very few people are taking a picture in front of a car accidentally. If they take a picture in front of the car, it's because they wanted to take a picture in front of the car. If they take a picture in front of their house, they taking it because they want you to see they own their own home. They want you to know that they're successful. You know what I mean? So there's certain things that they're revealing in their picture, right? That's why you see women sometimes have different hairstyles, right? They want you to know they're versatile, right? They wear certain outfits because they want you to see how they look in one outfit and how they look in something else. Whether it's if you're going to a gala or if you're going to a football game, they wanted you to see that they're versatile. So there's some thought that goes into when women create a profile, right? I don't know if a guy puts in as much thought into a profile, but women definitely, from what I can tell, really put in a thought when they kind of develop.
Well, I think it's also, I think because we know that you guys are so physically driven, like as far as our aesthetic, I think we are going to put a lot of, I mean, people get professional photos done for online dating.
Right.
But, I mean, and even when you're going out and you meet somebody out, I had a friend, she was just like, girl, I'm always ready. Like, I am ready to meet somebody. Like, her outfit was always tight. She's like, mm-mm. She's like, if I don't have my face on, if I don't have my lipstick on, not saying she was heavily made up, but she was always like presentable to catch somebody's attention.
But I think that also stands for men too. Because I mean, you have men who will take pictures in certain backgrounds, or they want you certain things to talk about their wealth or their things like that. So I don't think it's just a woman thing. I think that's just people in general, who really, really care about, okay, I'm trying to date. I want to portray something that's I think someone else would be important, that would think is important.
That's true. That's true.
So another one of the answers to Natalie's question of the day was that a young lady talked about one of the missteps men make is if you're part of a group, let's say Stacked After Hours group, and you tell me that all the women in the group have been after you. So I'm gonna pick on you, J. David Washington. It's like if all the women are Stacked After Hours are after you, but then it turns out in reality, you are the one that are going into everyone's DMs. So that's one of the steps that a young lady talked about. So how would you characterize J. David if he was in everybody's inbox?
well, listen, all I could say is I am so fortunate. I absolutely have no one in Stack that's after me.
After this show, you may. You never know.
So no one ever inboxed me. I don't have that issue. So fortunately for me, I wouldn't even know how to characterize a guy like that outside of a guy who felt as though he had an opportunity. There were beautiful women and he wanted to take advantage. But for me, speaking from experience, I don't have women in my inbox. Nobody's coming after me like that. And I love and respect all of the women on Stack and appreciate you all. So I'm not trying to slide in anybody's DM.
No, but what would you think of a guy that does that?
He's a creep.
Yeah, if listen, I don't want to blow up any dude's spot. But if you a dude, but if you a dude, honestly, I mean, and these brothers can appreciate it because real G's know real G's. Any guy that ever says all of the women are after him, that is a dude that you will avoid because clearly that particular guy is a narcissist and he's self-absorbed. My grandmama taught me never, ever compliment yourself. Never tell people how great you are. When I come up to New York, I'm gonna tell y'all what my daddy told me to keep me grounded. But men who go out and beat their chests, they're trying to compensate for something else that's lacking.
Amen. So because I feel like this question is a two-part question. Yeah. Yes. Like if you are the dude that's going around and saying that you are whatever, but how do you know, like, are you guys dating multiple women at the same time when you are single? Or are you like, I'm going to focus on this person, see how it is, and then move to what is your dating style? Like, since you guys, the ones who are single, and David, you could talk about this before you got married.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Because my thing is like, look,
I can talk about that a little bit.
Go ahead.
Oh, you mean now?
Don't try to be all brave now.
I mean, no. Listen, when I was dating, like I said earlier, when my wife told me, listen, I want to go to the next level, I was very honest with her. I said, no, I'm not ready. I'm dating. I just got a relationship. I want to date. I want to enjoy myself, and I did. I was very honest with her, and
how long did you date Dr. David? Well, he's Dave. How long did you
just call me David, please?
Thank you. Go ahead, Dave.
How long did I date in general? How long did I date my wife?
Just while you were dating her, how long did you date other people while you were dating?
I want to say for maybe about a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
No, because I was very honest because, I had just gotten out of a relationship. So to me, as I like at that time, I can't say I loved my wife, but I liked her enough and said I like things about her to say, I want to be honest with you. I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize what you really think of me. Like, because it's in the day, you tell me what you want. I can lie to you, and you guys can protest to this. I can lie to you and say, okay, yeah, and just string you along. Or I can be honest with you, know that I'm risking not being with you. But to me, is why go through that headache? And that's where that the whole drama and some people love drama. I'm not about drama life. So to me, it's like, let me be honest with you. Now, I was willing to risk the fact that, okay, well, if I'm telling her this, she may say, well, I don't want to deal with you at all. And it is what it is. But to me, it was more important for me to tell the truth. if I didn't really like her that much, I wouldn't have told the truth. I'd be like, listen, all right, let's go one or whatever happens, happens. And to me, it made life easier on me and knowing where it could be. But at the end of the day, I knew she was going to be the one. And once I could say, lack of a better term, get out of my system or whatever it is, I was like, you're who I wanted to end up being with.
So this is interesting because you said, if I really like you, I'm going to tell the truth. I hear everything. So is that who you guys tell, like, okay, I'm dating other people, and the women you really don't like, you're not telling them the truth? I'm asking y'all to be candid.
Let me just
a guy code. Yes. That's how it works.
Personally, I always believe transparency is important. And the reason why transparency is important is because I don't want no flat tires. Right.
Hey.
So
say it, Craig. Say it again. Say it so
I don't want no flat tires. I don't want no bricks through my window. So the more transparent you are with someone, the more they respect you. And so that's why my sister says, you know what? I've never had any bad breakups. Why? Because I'm always very honest with a woman. You know what? If you ask me where you stand, I'm going to tell you. You know what I mean? Good, bad, or indifferent. Because that way you can't say I lied to you. I don't use the word love loosely. Like, I'm not going to say I love you just because I want to get with you. If I don't love you, I'm not going to tell you I love you. Like, I had a young lady that I went on a couple of dates with, and she texts me and she says, do you miss me yet? And so I said, well, not really. Right. And so she's like, you don't miss me? I said, well, not really. I'm working. I'm not really, we've only hung out a few times. I'm not really thinking about you, but I enjoy spending time with you. And she got offended, right? Because I said, I ain't miss her.
Like that?
I didn't want to lie. So
I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't you just say, like, yeah?
No, because I don't.
It was like a coy. It was like because to me it seems like she was trying to flirt in a very coy, catty, a coy, playful way. So why wouldn't you just say, like, yeah,
that's just like saying I love you. To me, that's just like saying.
There's a different way he could still entertain that sort of thought without lying.
Yes, I agree.
So, he didn't have to actually say, yes, I miss you, in order to continue flirting with her. Yes,
I didn't just like, I'd be like, girl, you're always on my mind. Of course. That would have been
no, don't do that.
That's game, right? And listen, I don't mind the game, guys, but I don't play games. So if you ask me a question, and I know I may be wrong with this, but I'm going to be transparent. If you ask me, because listen, you might have a woman that say, I love you, right? Kind of prematurely. I'm not going to say I love you just because you said it. I'm going to say I really like you. Maybe at some point I will love you, but right now I don't love you. So, and a lot of guys will just say I love you because the woman said I love you and not really feel it. Yeah. So I don't do that.
So as a woman, Malik, Craig, let me tell you how you can get back with that statement. Do you really miss me? As a guy, you could be like, I'm not really, but what you thinking? What you thinking about? And that's how you continue that. She ain't gonna feel bad, but she knows that you're still interested to hear what she gotta say.
That's I guess I think because I don't believe in transparency until we are at a certain level. At the beginning, we're courting.
No, don't lie. Don't do that.
Wait. Back up.
Can you say that? I'm not lying, but it's like, you guys know, when I was dating a while back pre-COVID, I took 11 girls to see The Lion King because I had a hookup there. So now, am I going to tell every one of those 11 girls, hey, I took this one to see The Lion King? I just thought it was a cool date. I kind of had a script already for it. So that was just my go-to first date. It's a nice little play.
No, but it looks like you don't have to lie to them. You don't have to lie and say who you took to see The Lion King. So if they ask you a question, you could say, yes, I took somebody else. You don't have to say who.
I would never say that. So here's the thing about complicating things. No. Why is the female asking, who else have you ever taken to this date? What does that matter?
True. That's another question. Yeah. So
I guess the question is, so this is the thing. In talking about transparency, how transparent are you when she asks, are you dating other people?
Very. In fact, go ahead.
You said very. This is the one you said very. Craig.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask, I told you, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you ask me, I'll tell you. Now there are women that I'm talking to that I've never met, right? And so the way I look at it is that's not really dating, that's just conversation. Right. Because the clock doesn't start until you meet the person. Right. Because you actually have to meet them and see if there's chemistry. So if you ask me how many people I'm talking to, probably a couple, right? Okay. But we've never met. So there's nothing going on because they don't live locally or, their work schedule prevents us from hanging out.
Right. So for those people that you have gone on physical dates with, when they ask you, are you dating other people? What do you say?
If I'm dating
go ahead, Craig, and then I'm going to go to the next person. You say.
So I would say yes. If I'm dating someone, yes.
Okay.
We're online dating, so yes, okay. I'm dating.
Okay. Malik, because I know you really don't online date.
I don't online date, but I typically tell people in real life that if they say like, "Hey, are you dating other people?" I say, "Listen, I'm with you right now, and I'm enjoying this time and space with you."
I don't
so let's
do
just
that.
focus on you and me.
Okay, Anthony, let them answer, girl. You get
no, that's what I say. I don't usually say no, but I don't answer yes.
Okay.
I'm like, we are here right now, right? Let's focus on you and me.
Okay. David.
Me, David.
I just keep it 100. I love to keep it 100. I let people know, hey, I'll even tell people, hey, I'm with someone right now, but I'm more than happy to entertain a date with you, right? So I just like to keep it 100. I find that transparency and brute facts, it always works. And this is just something that I learned from a younger woman that I dated. I just started dating her, and we went out on a couple dates, and she said, "What are we doing?" And I said, "Whatever you'd like to do." And then she says, "Can we see other people?" I said, "But of course we can see other people." And we agreed that we would see other people, but from that truth, what ended up happening, I ended up spending more time with her because the more truth we had in the relationship, the more open the relationship became, but then the more closed the relationship became because we found that we enjoyed spending time with one another, and we kind of had an understanding. So for me, I just like to tell people the truth, the hard truth, and some people don't want to hear the truth, but giving the truth is the best thing that you could possibly do.
Yes.
Because I find women respect men that live in honesty, that live in truth, and tell them what it is.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Dave-O.
I'm too busy reading some of the comments that were popping up. David, you getting like a round of applause. So I agree. Listen, honesty is the best policy when you're dating. The thing about it is that when we're honest with people, is that we're more concerned that if we're honest with them, they may then just walk away. That's why we don't really want to tell the truth. But here's the honest truth: if you're dating other people, you're dating other people. If you just met someone, you're dating. You really are just dating. There's no real commitment here. And this is what we, as human beings, we complicate things. I just met you. We just went on one date a week ago. We just went on a second week 2 weeks ago. How much do we really know about each other where you're going to ask certain questions like, are we dating other people? Well, I may not have met someone else, but who's to say tomorrow I don't meet someone? We're getting to go to know each other. At some point, one individual, male or female, will say, listen, I'm really starting to like you. I would like to see if we can make this more exclusive. Here's the honest truth. The other person will either say, yeah, I'm really feeling that. Let's do it. Or no, we just don't like hurting other people's feelings. That's what the real issue is. Because we're scared I'm sorry?
I have to disagree. I feel like here's what I say to a lot of women. This is something my grandfather told me when I was a child. He said, before you speak, there's 3 things you should ask yourself. Is it truthful? Is it necessary? And is it kind? And if it doesn't meet those 3 requirements, why do you even say it? So yes, the truth might be that I'm dating other people. But second, is that necessary for me to say at the onset of our relationship? And then how could I deliver that message in a kind manner? Most likely I can't. And then another caveat is that when you meet most women and you go on dates, They got fake eyelashes, fake nails, fake hair, push-up bras, waist trainers on. So they're not makeup. They're not being fully transparent. I've dated women and they got home and came out the shower and looked like a totally different person. So until I'm fully vested in you, I'm not going to be dishonest with you, but I don't believe in full transparency.
Okay, I agree with you about the vested piece. The part that I disagree with is this. And I may get shot today about this. Let's be honest here. And nowadays, what it is when you meet women, I have to be completely honest with you. What you usually see sometimes is not their true representation. So let's not act like we don't know what we're seeing is not what we're going to get. Let's keep it real. Listen, I work on a college campus where you have 20-year-olds. I mean, listen, their fingernails are like 3 inches long. Their eyelashes, they could bat and fly away. So to me, it's like women will listen, they're gonna do their best to look attractive for you, whether it is their true representation or not. Let's not kid ourselves. I kind of hate when men say, oh, they're not showing who they are. We know what it is. They're doing this for us. At the end of the day, let's be honest with you. If you like a woman physically, you're going to like a woman physically. If you don't, you don't. Everything else like that, and I'm being honest, for me as a male, like, I like you physically, then what you got from me after that? Because let's be honest with you, at some point, if you're going to do something sexual, whatever it is what it is.
So let me ask you this. This is a great question that I've found from one of our he's a panelist, Jamie Mouton. He said, you meet a good one. She's smart. She's funny. She's sexy. You're in a good spiritual place, spiritually and financially. Part 2 question. What is the ideal dating range for her? And then what must she possess for you to take it from casual to exclusive? Who's gonna go first?
Does she give me peace and does she make me smile? Period. Let me tell you something. I don't care how bad you look. If when I wake up in the morning, you give me freaking stress, get the fuck out of here. Period.
Okay. What's the age? Well, Dave, we know what is the age range? What's the max?
I think when we start talking about age, sometimes age is not fair.
True.
It's not really fair because when I look at, because I'm 61, every woman that I meet, by the time I meet a woman, she is usually going to be ready for a guy like me.
So Dave, wait. The second. Okay, so let's whatever. Let's say she's your 40 and up. Okay,
right
there. What is it that's going to take it from casual to exclusive for her?
For me, I need to know you're interested in building something substantial. Like, because right now I'm in the midst of doing, a lot of different entrepreneurial things.
Right.
I'm doing them on my own and life is great. But if I meet a woman right now, I'm looking for someone who wants to ride with me to the next place of where I'm going to go, in my life, where my destiny is. And it has to be in alignment. And that's where things like goal setting, are we in alignment? Because not everybody wants to go. Like, for example, I'm going to spend 2 months in Africa, right? How many sisters are going to let their man go to Africa for 2 months and they not there with them, right? I need to have someone who has the capacity to allow those things to happen for me. And it doesn't mean that she's not a part of it. It just means that where I am in my journey in life is I'm doing different things. So as long as our lifestyles are compatible, then it's cool. Like, so I like going yachting. So I want to go yachting on a Thursday at 11 o'clock. If you got to report to Mr. Charlie, then we ain't compatible, because and there's nothing wrong with working for Mr. Charlie, but we can't get down because I want to play golf on Tuesday at 11:30. You can't do that. You can't go on the yacht on Thursday. So, you know, what are we doing? Because
But,
you're not available.
but my thing is, it's like, how are you finding out? Let's say physically she meets all your things. How are you finding out if she's aligned? Is she telling you? Is she telling you what she wants? Are you asking her? What is the process? I think that's the question.
Natalie, she can't get on the yacht. She can't get on the yacht. She got to punch in. So he cutting her off in 30 seconds.
Right. The process is like, for example, I met a young lady. There's a place called Bimini Boatyard down here in South Florida. Ladies' night is every Thursday night, if you want to know. I meet I meet this. No, seriously, I meet this sister. This is like 2017. I meet this sister. You know, I'm 2017, so I'm 5 years single. I meet this sister, amazing sister, cool, right? At this particular spot, and we jive, and then I say, well, what you doing tomorrow? And she goes, oh, I'm not doing nothing. I go, can we meet at the golf course? And she goes, oh yeah. The sister shows up at the golf course, and she got a goddamn golf game, and she was wearing a damn weave, right? She didn't even look like she had that level of game and lifestyle, but the conversation was so thorough, right?
Like
at the location, even though she looked, you know, she had the wig and the weave type of thing. And I'm not a beweavable, no disrespect to the weave, but you know, I'm a bohemian type of brother. You know, I like the natural movement, but I will rock with a weave and a front lace. But that ain't my first preference. You know, that ain't my first preference. But I can rock with you. And yo, listen, we having fun, but listen, you can't judge a book by its cover.
That's
you
true.
You gotta read the pages, baby, and you gotta go deep. And I just find, honestly, the process is really, you know, we're laughing, we're having fun, but really, I said it before, women to me are open. And if you could just take the time to listen to them, you all really tell us what needs to happen. And if you are in alignment with that sister, then you actually can take it to the next level, and things can grow, and you can build. But it really starts with, I put it in the chat earlier, for me, my number one thing when I meet a woman, can we have a long conversation? I want to have a long conversation. You know, honestly, I like the body. I like the eyelashes. I like the girls out. But I'm a goddamn sapiosexual. Can we talk about some books? You know, can we talk about, you know, they came before Columbus? Do you know who Ivan von Sertimer is? Do you know who Tate Dayoff is? I want a sister that can challenge me intellectual. Do you know what happened 88 years ago? Do you understand? Do you know who Carter G. Woodson is? You know, so when a sister can stimulate me intellectually, then, you know, the man below could get real stiff.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. All right.
We are grown. We are grown.
We are grown. We grown. We grown. We are grown.
Stimulate my mind, and then the other things can get real hard.
Okay, Malik, Lord David, Jesus, good Lord Jesus. Okay, Malik, what about you? What's gonna take it for you you to go from casual?
David kind of summed it up. I think like what he said is just the energy and someone who just speaks to my soul. Like if I'm dating a bunch of people and there's someone that just pierces my soul and really gets into my mental, that's what's gonna make me. I think like he said, it's just gonna be an alignment. It's almost inexplicable. You both are gonna feel it, and it's just gonna naturally. It's gonna be a natural symbiotic coming together. I don't think it's really.
Malik, that's a little bit of a word salad. What is it? Like,
I'm just saying that's because I can't. Because I'm gonna say my most serious relationships, it just kind of happened. It wasn't like I planned it or she planned it or I had a strategy in place. It just we was in alignment, and it just Like one day, I remember I took a girl on a date Saturday. We didn't leave each other's company till Tuesday.
Oh, bro, I know what you're talking about.
Like Saturday we went. Saturday we went to a club. Sunday morning, we end up waking up, taking my grandmother to brunch. Then after that, we went to see a movie. Then we went miniature golf on Monday. And then like 3 months later, we moved in together. So it wasn't even like a plan because I was really like, but the sad thing is something was like, damn, you don't got a job. Like you have a lot of free time on your hands. But it just was like, we just fell into a groove with each other. So it was like, I feel like the best.
Did that happen during COVID?
No, this is pre-COVID.
Oh,
so I always feel like the best relationships are not planned. It's really your energies just connect.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Craig, and then we have a couple more questions and we're going to take it into the after party.
Well, I mean, I think communication is number one, right? But someone mentioned earlier, someone that can be your peace, right? And I think that sometimes women have to know how to give a guy space. You know what I mean? Like you want to be with someone and spend time with them, but the woman that knows how to kind of give a guy a little bit of space, let him miss you a little bit. You know what I mean? And like I said, the communication has to be on point. And then, of course, I'm going to keep it real. Sexually, it has to be on point. There are going to be instances that you meet someone that you might really like them, and you might have a pretty good vibe. But if you're not on point sexually, it probably is not going to work. You know what I mean? Like everything has to kind of fall into place. So that's important as well. Yeah.
So, Anthony, you scratching your nails there. You got something to say?
I like that. Craig tough on these ladies. I like Craig. Craig real tough on these women.
Can we do one more before we go? Can we do one
Craig
more?
Be keeping it 100, man. Yeah. I like Craig. Craig is all about keeping it 100.
Right.
Craig, your pimp hand is strong, brother. I salute you.
Yo, man. Yo, and you know what? You know what makes Craig so amazing? He's so damn monotone. He's that brother. He like monotone about it. Like this is just what it is. I like everything else, but I need your sex game to be on top.
I'm not missing you. You got to be good in the bed.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
Anthony, do we have one more misstep?
Yeah, leading with money.
Oh, horrible.
We've kind of
big mistake.
Go ahead.
Did we cover that already?
I think we did kind of talk about leading with money.
Yeah, that's horrible. Never lead with bread. Women hate dudes that lead with bread.
Not all.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, but real talk. If you think about but when you lead with bread, I think that shows a weakness. Because if you got to lead with money, then that's going to lead into what the relationship is going to be about. I think there's so many other important things besides money. I think women want to know, do you respect them? Will you have respect for them? Time, will you provide for them time, right? Because not all of the brothers are going to make $250 a year, because $250 a year in New York, I'm not in New York anymore, but that's the threshold for dating. You brothers could disagree, but I don't believe you could really date in New York, particularly if you're going to be circulating in New York with 2 or more women. You need a quarter, and if your bread ain't right, then you need to leave the money talk alone. So you have to have something.
So David, let me ask you this. How do you not lead with money when everything you see in the world, even chivalry to a point, involves money? Because if I take you on a first date and say, hey, listen, you know what? I decided I'm not going to lead with money. So since I don't know you, you don't know me, we're just getting to know each other. Let's go Dutch. The average woman is not trying to hear that.
Yeah, I know, man.
And here's the thing I always tell people. Do you want someone to want you or to value you? Because when you lead with money, it makes people want you. But if a person truly valued you, they would say, you know what? I don't know you. So it is kind of absurd to pay for a stranger. So you know what? You know what? And that way the sexual tension is alleviated because there's no idea that, well, since I paid, you might owe me this. I feel like if you do go Dutch, even though I've never done it, I want to meet a woman who one day says, you know what? Keep your money in your pocket. I'm going to pay for myself. But that's never going to happen.
But check
somebody said, somebody said not sure. One of the ladies said not sure that they hate leading with money. She's like, just say it.
Okay.
But you gotta pay for the date.
But check this out. For real. I believe we are in an age today. people could sense. I think energy is everything. People know imposters. I mean, I used to live in New York. I don't believe you could fake it. Like, I don't believe. I mean, New York is not a place where you could be.
I disagree. I think in today's
David,
age,
I know a lot of dudes who fake it.
it's
I
much
got friends who
easier.
borrow a car. I got guys
much,
who got
Y'all can't talk over each other. One person. Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead, Dave. You were saying.
No, I think it's much easier to fake it nowadays than it was in the past. You know, what you got, what you can't. You know, to me, honestly, when you're dating or whatever it is listen. The problem is this. You have people, and I don't think sometimes we're always honest about this. When you go on a date, I think you feed off the energy. Now, don't get me wrong. You have the guys out there who just want a bravado. They ain't got it, but they want to show off whatever it is. I don't think that's the majority of men. You know, but listen, I'm not the one dating them, so I could be wrong. But let's be honest, when you're dealing with someone through the conversation, certain things that you talk about and the way you act, you will know when someone has it or not. It's not about fake, you know, you will know it. So for me, to be honest with you, is that I'm going to go back to this about the conversations. There's certain things that, you know, and I may get shot by the women. You may not directly ask certain questions, but the certain things that you say, certain conversations during the conversation that you say, or certain questions you have, will make a man feel like, oh, he needs to respond to this so that you know, oh wait, don't get it twisted. I am financially stable. Oh, if I wanted to, I could take care of you. But sometimes women, and don't take it personal, you guys don't want to accept that because you will say it because you yourself want to. Not all women do want to know these things, and you kind of imply in a way. And then when the guy does it, you're kind of upset, like, well, why are you throwing it out there? Well, that's the energy I also got from you. Like, you want to know whether I got it like that. And I don't mean monetary, but like I got it where like, listen, we say all grown people, my dick does swing like that. Yes, I am like that. Yes, I do got this. If you think that I'm up to your level, because women will say this, I have a certain worth. Like, I know my worth. Well, guess what? I know your worth and I got it. So chill out.
Exactly. We see somebody in the group just posted, that's broke dude talk. And it's like, why is that a thing?
That
women
is not
say
broke dude
like
talk.
No. So I mean, I don't know who they were referring. I don't know what comment they were referring to as broke dude talk. But I think
it's a comment about leading with money. I think they were saying.
But my thing is that, why is that a way of a woman kind of trying to jab at men? Like, he's broke. What does that mean? I'm broke. Am I broke financially? Am I broke spiritually? Am I broke mentally, emotionally? Like, people always talk about leading with money, and then when guys do lead with money, this is why. Because we know there's a narrative that will exist if we don't maybe showcase a certain level of financial wealth. Because the other areas of wealth, people seem to forget about. They seem to forget about your spiritual wealth, your emotional intelligence, your mental stability. They just want to know what your pockets look like day one. And that's ridiculous to me, because you could be rich, but a jerk.
That's true.
You know, it's so funny you said that. I had a
Can I add something? Because one of the things, and I saw a comment from a young lady, and this is something that I wrote in the book. I don't think you should take someone out on a date for the first time you meet them. The first time you meet someone, I've learned that a meet and greet is the best thing to do. Right?
Yes, sir.
Because listen, let's meet at a Starbucks, let's meet at, coffee shop, whatever, right? And let's have a conversation, and let's just see if you want to take it to a dinner. Because there's nothing, I've been on I learned on a date that I went on, that a young lady, without having a conversation with her, we just went on a date, and I couldn't wait to get rid of her, right? And so and this is a funny story, I had to have my daughter call me and make up an excuse to get out of the dinner, right? Because she was just driving me nuts, right? So I could just tell you, the best thing to do is say, listen, let's meet at Starbucks, let's get a smoothie, right? Mm-hmm. Sit down, have a little conversation, see if you vibe. And if you vibe with the person, then you say, yo, let's go out on a date. I'll take you out on a date, because I'm old school. I'm going to pay on the first date, But what I appreciate is a woman say, hey, let me get the tip. I'm going to tell her, no, I got it. You know what I mean? But the fact that she offered to pay for the tip is impressive. And then, you know what, if we go on a few other dates and she says, you know what, I got it, but I'm going to let her pay. Sure, of course. You know what I mean? But it's a give and take. But don't go on a date with a chick the first time. Meet and greet, see what she's about before you decide to go on a date, because you might regret it.
Yeah.
So my final question, you guys, is what have you learned about yourself from dating and the relationships over time? Like, what are two things that you've just learned about yourself that you know is true when a woman meets you?
When a woman beats you, what do you mean by that?
Meets you, not beat. Well, if you want that to happen too, but if when a woman meets you, what is the one thing that you've just learned about yourself from dating and relationships or relationships?
That's a great question.
For me, it's been, David, I love your honesty. And I can honestly say I used to be a little mendacious, a little, a little gray. And I learned that my power was in not being opaque. And there's a sister that I met, and to this day we're the best of friends even now. And even the young lady that I've dated, I've introduced them, and they're friends because the friendship was from there. And I learned that as I've aged, I've embraced honesty so much because and I'm not going to stay too long on this, but I find men are often afraid to be honest. And I have discovered that if you are honest with women, they will actually empower you and give you more freedom. And I know this is not the topic, but I've been able to be in situations where I've been able to have more freedom than I ever imagined because I was honest,
You
and
talking about
those
group play?
sisters empowered me.
I have a question. When you say honest with these women, I have to do with. I mean, and I really try to avoid discussing age. What age group are you talking about?
Okay, so let's say, so right now I'm 61. So I met this sister maybe 8 years ago. So I was in my early 50s. She was in her 30s, but she was in her mid 30s. And we had a great relationship. We had an 8-year run, and we're still great friends right now. But she challenged me, and it wasn't that she challenged me, but she asked me a question, and I answered the question truthfully. As a result of me answering that question truthfully, she empowered the relationship to be freedom, and I was able to experience what it was like to experience polyamory with her. um, and it was absolutely amazing because
I
of
knew it.
honesty. Now I'm not pursuing or promoting polyamory because that's not for everybody. You can't rock. But a lot of men lie because they do want to have plan A and plan B, but they don't know how to do it, so they lie. But I have discovered that if you're not really interested in the long game and playing the long game, then level up, be a man, tell a sister what it is, and then you give her freedom. And I think when men lie, you strip away a woman's power and freedom because you sell her an illusion. And women today are a hell of a lot smarter than they were back in the day. They got smartphones and texts, and women broadcast out, and that's a whole nother section on texting and sexting, how women play the game today. But you got to level up. To me, men have to level up today, put their big boy fucking boxers on, and stop the bullshit and tell women the truth. Be honest, be a man, and then there will be women who will sign up to be on your team. And then you rock with those who rock with you and keep it moving. So for me, it has been brute honesty, brute truth, open and honest communication. Being that person has made me a better person. And I give thanks to sisters that's made that happen for me.
Okay. 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 So honesty is the best policy for you.
I will say this. I have a friend, a female friend, is very interesting. She always says, it's always easier for men to date women because there are a lot more women who are looking for men than men looking for women. So it's so funny. I mean, we used to go back and forth. And I remember one time I finally said, you know what? I kind of agree with you. I said, because, a man doesn't necessarily need to lie. But some men do. But can I say this? A lot of men don't lie. But here's the thing.
Y'all just don't say anything. Y'all omit.
There's
so it's not necessarily. It is a lie.
No, but here's my point on this. There's so many options out there for you. You don't necessarily need to lie. To be honest with you, you can honestly listen. You can be married, single, divorced. It doesn't matter, whatever. If you tell women, listen, I'm married. This is what it is. Either you down with it or not. Either they're gonna be up for it or not. There are a lot of options out there. To me, you don't need to lie about certain things because at the end of the day, the biggest thing for me, and maybe it's because I've been married so long, is if you start things lying, you guys are gonna lie to each other. And to be honest, you're not gonna trust each other anyway. So what's the difference? To me, just be upfront about it. Listen, if we're just together, if you're dating someone and you're dating someone for the future wise, you know it. If you're doing this and it's just sex, there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, you're there for me. I can call you on a Friday night. We here, we chill, we hang out. Nothing more than that. But we as human beings, once again, we complicate matters. We don't always want to be upfront about what we're looking for. If I meet a girl and I know this is just sex, it is just sex. If it's more,
Dr. O, man, honestly, real talk. Don't you get more offers now that you married? Real talk.
Your wife ain't there. No, I'm just gonna say this. No, I'm gonna say this. And Anthony knows me. You know me for a while. I don't wear my wedding ring. I've never been a jewelry person.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing. Most people don't know I'm married, and Anthony will know this. I'm a very friendly person.
I don't know anything that I'm Dr.
Listen, my wife will tell you, she goes, I hate how friendly he is. Sometimes he's a bit too friendly or whatever it is. My point being is this. Listen, if you are that type of person, women that women gravitate to, they will gravitate to you.
The answer is yes. You get offered.
I was raised by a woman, and I feel like there's no woman on earth that I can't talk to. And if I wanted to really try to get at, I could get at. And there are men who don't know how to say shit to a woman. They say the wrong things, which is what we're getting all those comments. I hate when a man leaves with this. I hate when a man leaves with that, whatever. I'm just like, I've never had those problems because I know not to say. But my point being though is that if you want something and you know what it is, don't hide it. If you know that, listen, this is just sex, and this goes for women too. If it's just a sex thing, it's just a sex thing. I know you ain't nothing more than good dick. Keep it real. You can't give me more than that. Let's just keep it real.
When was the last time you dated, Dave?
Let me tell you something. I don't need to date like that. I'm saying I'm on the college campus.
No, seriously. When is the last time
you in these streets? He in college. He in these streets. He see what's going on.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
I
haven't dated in years, but I'm gonna tell you what I've seen. The funny thing about these kids, I'm gonna go back to, and I know they're younger than this generation. I told you they're very free with their sexuality. They're very free with dating and things like that. But I've also seen a lot of fights on my campus, a lot of things about dating because people just want to be honest. Listen, if it's just sex, it's just sex. And we're older, so what we got to hide? If it's sex, it's just sex. If I like you and it goes beyond that, all right, you know what? I think this can go beyond that.
So people are just like, it doesn't matter. She gives you the draws, the first date, the second date, the third date. It doesn't matter, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It does not matter.
No judgment.
It does not matter.
Yeah, women can have sex on the first date, and that does not make you a garden tool. You are not a garden tool, ladies, if you give it up on the first date. That's just real.
You're a low vibrational, low morality woman.
Not at all.
As Mr. was saying, The Color Purple, there's not a lot of men that allow their hoe in the house.
Listen, can I be honest with you? You know what's so funny? I always tell people that human beings need sex. If you're single, you're single. I don't care whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60. Are you going to tell me?
Let me ask you a question. Men often say things, right, that you want a woman to do that you would never want your daughter to do. You would never want your daughter to fuck nobody the first night. Never in your life. So,
of course.
do what you want them to do. Whoa.
Okay. You know what? We're gonna have to finish. We're gonna have to finish this in the after party. Jesus. Y'all got one sentence because I see this is just like rile them up. One sentence. What is one thing you wish women knew about dating men that they don't know? One sentence.
Wait, can you say that again?
One thing you wish women knew about dating men that they don't know. What's the one thing you want them to know?
I want to answer that first.
Go ahead.
The one thing that I think they should know is learn how to cater to your man. Women have lost the ability to cater to their man. And so because of that reason, they don't win a guy over. I mean, in the old days, a way of catering to your man was, babe, give an example.
Give an example.
I'm going to give you one.
Catering now.
One way of catering to your man is saying, you know what? In the old days, you might make dinner for your man, right? Or make dinner for someone. Women nowadays, half of them can't even cook, right? So I'm just telling you, like, women
that can cook.
There's a lot of women that can, but I'm just saying, like, women that I've met online. The matter of fact, the last 2 women that I met online could not cook. They could not cook. They was like, they're very honest about it. I don't know how to cook, and we're not talking about, 30 years old. We're talking about women that are in their late 40s that just don't know how to cook. So I'm just saying, like, women have lost the ability to cater to their man. And because of that reason, they miss out on guys. Because I can just tell you, a friend of mine who actually met someone online, the one thing he really values most about her is that she knows how to cater to him. And I think guys like that. And we miss that. Someone saying, hey, babe, I don't drink beer, but I'm saying, like, a woman that says, babe, you want a beer? You know what I mean? When's the last time a woman said to you, do you want something to drink? You want me to make you a sandwich? Stuff like that. That's how you cater to your man. And men cater to women in other ways. Like, that's why we walk on the outside on the sidewalk. That's why we open up doors. We cater to you one way, and women have lost the ability to cater.
So, Craig, I told you one sentence, and you're giving me a whole soliloquy.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay. That's okay. It's okay, Craig. Thank you, Craig. Though that was a good one. Thank you, Malik. One thing you want women to know.
Build kind of what Craig was saying. I think if women give men the space to be what a man truly is, they will get to see how intuitive he can be, how passionate he can be, how vulnerable he can be.
What is the space? What are you talking about?
Like it's almost like allowing, it's like we have this idea of what it is to be a man or what masculinity entails. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that truly is what a man is. So if you just give him the space, it's almost like how you interact with your girlfriends. Like you give them the space to be themselves. So your man might shock you, and he might get you the Birkin bag. He might also get up at 4 a.m. to put gas in your car, so he knows gas up to go to work. Like give him this space. It's almost like allowing the good guy. You know how they say nice guys finish last or good guys lose. Allow him to be that nice guy or that good guy. Okay. And he might shock you.
Okay, Craig. I mean, not Craig. I'm sorry, David J.
This is the advice that I'm going to give sisters. Mm-hmm. Read the book, The Art of Seduction, and if possible, find a friend that's a stripper and pick her brain, because she has many secrets that women who have MBAs, who are smart and brilliant, think they know everything. Get a stripper friend and let us school you on what turns men on.
Okay.
Talk about it.
Okay. Woo. All right.
Even though Anthony said I haven't dated in like 80 years, I'm just gonna say this. Simplify things. Yo, just enjoy yourself. Yo, you go on a date, just enjoy yourself. Yo, we put so much expectations on things that we end up just disappointing ourselves. If you go on a date with someone you don't know, what expectations can you really have? Just enjoy the moment for a second and see what happens. We're so like, oh, where are we going? Well, is it this place? Is it that place? Well, why don't we do this or that? That by the time you set the bar so high up here, well, let me ask you a question. If your bar is at 150%, but the match you can get is 100%, can you ever really be satisfied? And I'm just talking about relationship-wise. I'm not talking about money, nothing else, just relationship. If your bar is so set so high, how will you ever be satisfied?
And there we have it. We're gonna take this shit into the after party, y'all. Lord Jesus, have mercy. Great show. Thank you, Craig. Well, thank you, Craig. Everybody get his book, The Good, the Bad, and I can't believe it was a filter. Is that right?
That picture was filtered. I'm going to let you know when it's available. I will tell you all the information.
Yes, thank you. March 18th, it comes out. Go to the website. Don't get it on Amazon. It's on the website. You'll get the signed copy. Dr. O, thank you so much. It was great seeing you. This is fun.
Thank you for having me.
Malik, of course, and Jay. Jay, drop the book in the chat for us.
Well, this automatically take us to after hours.
It's been a long time. It's great seeing you. Everybody, come into the after party because we're gonna continue this conversation.
Is it the same link? Is it the same link?
We're not live, right? So this is just this us kicking it like friends and family, right? We taking our we ain't live. Ain't nobody recording.
But not here. But not here. You got to come out of this and go onto the Zoom link I sent you.
Join Stacked After Hours, The Spot, where grown men and women gather to have candid, also honest discussions about the state of life, love, and more. The Spot is a hybrid of in-person and weekly virtual gatherings. Join our Facebook group and answer our daily questions. Subscribe to our YouTube for our weekly live talk shows and join us on Zoom for our talk show after parties for lively conversations with other opinionated, grown, and sexy professionals. Just search, like, follow, and subscribe to Stack After Hours on Facebook groups and YouTube. Also like and follow our brand pages at Be Stacked Wellness on Facebook and IG. So wherever you are, at home or abroad, pull out your laptop, tablet, or smartphone and join in the conversation with the members of Stacked After Hours. The Spot by Be Stacked Wellness. See you there.
As you know, and if you are new to the Stacked family, we always keep our conversations lit and enlightening.